Hello, and welcome to a triumphant episode of Telling Everybody Everything. I have something to reveal. Bobby, speak now.
I am going to speak right now, just kind of as some type of test.
We fixed Bobby's audio.
It was not my fault all along. It kind of was, but not really.
No, I mean, I think it was in no way your fault. It was a technical issue. I blame the producer of this podcast, and that's me.
Yeah, I would as well. I felt bad. I listened to last week's on the radio while I was driving my car through the speakers, and I was like, okay, there's a problem, because I was very adamant. I was speaking to Mike last weekend, and anyways, glad to have it sorted.
Didn't make any sense.
No. But yeah, problem officially solved, I would say.
I mean, if anything, I think you're a bit too loud.
All right, I'll tone it down.
You're going into the red. I'm going to turn you down. This is great. This is great news for us.
Wow.
Oh, we fixed it. Okay. So this is our birth story. Technically number 4 for me, though I've never really delivered my first Violet birth story, but I've talked about it enough times so you can piece together what happened. Number 3 birth story for Bobby. Take it away. Where would you position it on the podium?
This was, well... Yeah, it would have to be the best, or like
number 1,
most successful, least amount of stress. With Fred, I didn't really know what was going on, so I gave myself a pass. So I didn't even allow myself to get stressed out until it was like kind of go time. And then it was obviously, I didn't even have time to be stressed because we were just flying in the car, get to the hospital, and like Fred's out almost immediately. Whereas this one, and then Fenna obviously was at home, a lot of variables you could not control. And like it was kind of scary in a way, whereas this one, we scheduled it and it went according to plan and no problems.
I would call it pretty smooth sailing.
Yes.
Violet has just walked into the room, but she has expressed no interest in contributing anything to the podcast today.
Funny that. Do you want me to hold the baby, or are you?
She's still like, she just drinks milk 24 hours a day. However, yeah, but why don't I text you as soon as she's done, and then you can take her.
Yeah, I just want to give you a little break so you could do the pod.
No, lovely to see you.
Put that TV down.
I would just press the down button.
Yeah.
Never do that.
Anyway, we're sort of at work, so if you don't want to...
Sorry. Hi, guys.
See you soon.
Great to see you.
You look nice.
I really don't, but thank you.
Please eat something.
When you say that, I'm just making something downstairs.
Lovely.
Snapchat is not working. It's gone dead the whole day. So
Snapchat's gone dead,
Oh,
everyone.
my goodness.
Ring?
Yeah, rings. All Amazon things.
What?
Yeah.
Actually,
Do you think there's a hack?
That is funny. I didn't notice the ring when Fred left earlier.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Snapchat's got. I'm getting really irritated.
And you guys can't even discuss amongst yourselves like why it's down, because you don't have your... You might need to call someone on the telephone, on the app on your phone called Phone.
Oh, like a millennial. Okay, bye.
So we will walk you through the day for those of you who are expecting, those of you who are just curious, those of you who are considering, do I want to deliver a baby, have a human being delivered from my body? You know, it surprises you every time how much it hurts, but I will completely concede to Bobby's attribution of this birth as number 1, because we weren't laboring in the car.
Nope.
That was absolutely key for me. So I'll start from the beginning and I'll hand off to you. The logistics of this birth were, if I hadn't given birth by Friday, then we were to be induced. And we chose to be induced by a lovely, handsome doctor, celebrity obstetrician, Pat. We won't say his full name, but those in the know will know who he is. Everyone knows who he is. My doula, Cassia, she knew who he was. Our phlebotomist, who came to collect stem cell blood from the cord, she knew who he was. Everybody knows Pat, and he's not someone that you want to shit yourself in front of.
How'd that go?
Not well.
No.
However, it was nice to wake up in the morning with the kids, have a planned departure, not be trying to like exist in a space between life and death in the car.
Taking off in the middle of the night.
Yeah, like it was quite nice to have the induction, even though I did try to stand in its way. So I do this thing that is slightly controversial in the medical community, because I have to tell you there is a risk that drinking castor oil to induce labor, which you should never do before you're like full term, by the way, because I believe in 2 out of 3 cases it did induce my labor. but it's like a very powerful laxative, and there is a risk that it can make the baby go to the bathroom inside of you, and they have meconium in their amniotic fluid. If that happens, it's not the end of the world, but they do need antibiotics when they're born if that happens. So that's why they tell you don't do it. There's also a risk that you could just spend the day shitting yourself, and like, why would you do that? Then you're dehydrated. You have less energy when you actually go into labor. But everything I've seen says 58% of women who drank like 2 tablespoons or 4 tablespoons of castor oil did spontaneously go into labor if they were full term within 24 to 48 hours. And I suppose I would fall in that category, though I did not go into labor.
No.
Did I spend all day feeling the effects of a powerful laxative? Yes.
How many teaspoons or tablespoons did you have?
About 4.
About 4, maybe a bit more, maybe?
No.
Okay.
I keep it,
I know you like to push it a bit.
I'm not crazy. I'm a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what I did on Thursday. And I thought, Dr. Pat, I might see you Thursday. I'm going to try to induce my own labor. But he's a man of medicine. He was like, see you Friday.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. So we go Friday morning for the induction, Bobby.
I mean, yeah, we had to leave at 8 or 7.
7. We were supposed to arrive at 8.
I remember you're like telling me, oh, we're going to be late for the baby. For the baby being born.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a funny turn of phrase, because we're not really late, are we? Even though behind schedule, I would say, to the appointment. Slightly. We have kids that we got to say goodbye to over here, and before we ruin their lives with a new baby. So what happened? We went there, and he put some like goop inside of you, gel, I guess they would call it, and then kind of, lubed you up, and then we went for a nice. Is that what happened? What do they do?
Sort of.
You sit down, you spread your legs, they put the stuff inside you, and they say, all right, rest for an hour. And then we went for a walk. They say to go for a walk. So we did that, went for a nice little breakfast.
Lovely breakfast.
So I had an old fashioned
I
at
pushed
breakfast.
Bobby
You
to
pushed
have an old
me to have
fashioned.
an old fashioned.
Because it's old fashioned week.
When we walk in, they're like advertising like Apple old fashions.
Yeah.
And you're like, go for that. I was like, yeah, twist
It's
my arm.
It's a nice day.
Yeah, it was a nice day.
And we're celebrating what we know is going to be, we've never had that luxury of being like, today is our baby's birthday.
And here's the plan.
Also Eminem's birthday.
Yeah.
And I know you like an old fashioned, and if they have apple pie old fashions.
At 11 a.m. Yeah, it was nice. So then we jaunter back to the hospital, and nothing's really happening. You're getting some movements down there, I think. I don't know why I'm speaking of this, but from my memory, things are kind of progressing in a calm manner.
They changed the name of contractions. They've rebranded contractions
What?
to tightenings.
Tightenings.
Did you hear Miriam? So we
Wouldn't
have
it be more like loosenings?
No.
Because yes, I understand. Well, I kind of understand it gets tighter, but ultimately, isn't it like loosening up?
Yeah, like your cervix is dilating during that time,
Right.
but the feeling is like a muscular tightening. It's very tight and very painful. Like you're right.
But you're also widening.
Yeah, you have to tighten to widen,
You
I
got
guess.
to tighten to widen.
So I'll explain what Bobby gruesomely described as like goop inside of me, which I wish Dr.
Sorry,
Pat
I should have
would do.
said just gel. Oh, of course you would. You sick freak. Maybe in 6 weeks you can go back for a checkup.
It's pessary gel, which it's like it's a prostaglandin. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it's like the hormone that will soften your cervix and hopefully initiate labor. So they put that in as like a little sort of bullet or gel, and they do a little sweep, and that's like a mechanical induction. So there are several things that you can do to initiate an induction, and what I wanted to avoid was a medical induction, because as soon as they insert a intravenous drip and
Hormones.
Yeah, Pitocin, which is like a
from the tutorial.
synthetic oxytocin that starts your contractions, but you don't want that. So there are women who have to be induced with that, fine. But my hesitation was that if you have synthetic hormones, your body does not respond with endorphins, so it hurts a lot more. And there's no evidence that it hurts more, but there's anecdotal evidence. Every woman who's induced with Pitocin says it hurts a lot more. And when we asked our angel on earth, lovely midwife Miriam, who is Dutch, She said, yeah, I've only seen one instance personally where someone who was medically induced did not have an epidural.
Right.
And I didn't want an epidural.
Yeah.
And that, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, yeah, you need the drugs with the hormone drip.
You might.
Well, everyone does except for one person.
Well, I would have been number 2.
Maybe.
Because...
Maybe not. Because guess who was crying for drugs quickly later on in the story? But
no one crying for drugs. No one.
Mooing for drugs.
Nuh-uh.
Well, you were asking for drugs.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Well, first of all, let's get to it now because before anything even started, we had a drugs chat.
Yes, there was a lot of drugs chat, which were quite funny actually. But my God, the fentanyl drip.
Jesus. Yeah, tell them about that
all
one.
these. Okay, there's like, what, 3-4 options, epidural, and then there's like a fentanyl drip.
Yeah.
Which is insane. You basically have to have someone monitor when you're doing it. But you basically like, before contraction starts, you like hit a button and it like shoots fentanyl into your heart. And then basically by the time the contraction starts, it's not quite there, but the second half of your contraction, the fentanyl hits. And then you have to wait 2 minutes before the fentanyl reloads, and then you can hit the button again on the next contraction.
And what if you're having contractions closer together than that?
It just seems wild that you're just ticking a button for like instant fentanyl in the bloodstream, like quicker than like intravenously, I think is my understanding of it.
So we had this incredible anesthetist who came in and described all the different options because I went in there. So we did the pessary and the little sweep and the breakfast. Nothing's really happening. There were some tightenings. It's not a big deal. It's not active labor. It's just like getting things softened up. And then they said, before you're feeling pain, let's have the drugs chat. Because when I went in, Bobby and I presented ourselves as 2 people who wanted to get fucked up. Why? Because we've just handed over 10 grand. We've never had such a luxurious option for labor and delivery as, you know, a planned induction at the Portland. And I thought, like, I've suffered enough. Like, why would I suffer? I don't want the epidural because, well, I've heard some people who've had nerve damage. And also, I don't want to be confined to a bed. It just kind of was like, if I've had so many kids without it, no shade to anyone who gets epidural, but I didn't want that. It just wasn't, it doesn't get you fucked up.
You just wanted to,
it just makes you numb.
You wanted a nice high that didn't get to the baby.
Right.
And
so I said, walk me through all the opiates and I'll give some to my husband as well.
Didn't work out.
And we seemed like smackheads, which I don't really understand. Because if anything, we are non-smackheads. Like we are here on one day of our lives when there's like an opiate menu available. Why wouldn't we take advantage of that? So this wonderful man, I forget his name, which is mean, but we only saw him for a minute. I think it was Mark or Martin. But he spoke about the epidural and he said, that's the one we recommend. I think that's just the most popular one maybe at the Portland. He said, and they kept kind of pushing, we'd like to put an IV in you just in case we use it. We'd like to have it for you in case you want it. And it will maybe give you a terrible headache, maybe make you itchy. In 1 in 5,000 cases, it causes temporary nerve damage. In 1 in 25 to 50,000 cases, it causes nerve damage for like more than 6 months. I was like, what?
Yeah. And then
what else did he say?
So then there was there was the epidural, the pepidine. Pethidine
is an opiate that they use, he explained, in cases where a woman's labor is like 3 days and she just needs to rest. So
that one seemed pretty strong.
It makes the baby sleepy. And they're like, oh yeah, but you know, if the baby's born sleepy or not breathing that well or not feeding that well, we can give them another drug to wake them up. And I was like,
they give them an upper.
Yeah. I was like, oh, well, I don't want that then.
What a wild
They
ride.
said you can have this injection called diamorphine.
It was like something morphine. It was like hydromorphine. So it was morphine, but kind of like heroin.
Essentially heroin. And I said, that one sounds great.
Yeah. So that was the leading candidate for sure.
And the remifentanil, fentanyl, whatever.
Fentanyl.
I looked that up online and it said you might want this one because it has quick bursts of high and it doesn't really affect the baby because it wears off.
Oh yeah, it wears off.
But when he explained it to us, it was like, yeah, you have to have a midwife in the room the whole time. You might have oxygen. You might stop breathing. It's like a very serious drug and you have to like anticipate the contraction and press this button. I was like, wow. So even though we went in being like, what do you have to fuck us up? It all sounded quite bad.
You chose nothing.
Yeah.
To at least begin with.
It all sounded bad.
Yeah.
Well, what I've learned is it's not great to get high. Like you see it on the news and it looks fab.
There's positives and negatives to getting high is what you're saying.
Yeah. But the diamorphine, when everything kicked off, I thought a little injection of that sounded like the best one. But again, I was ahead of myself. So what happened next was,
after the drugs chat, nothing's really happening to you. Like, you want things to move. That's your kind of thing, is you want things to go quickly. You want to do everything that you can to make sure, you want to stay on schedule. You want to win the race. You want to get home as soon as possible. You feel like a prisoner, even though, it's not the case, but that's how you feel inside. So things aren't moving. And it was time to then have a chat about maybe breaking the waters.
Yeah. So Dr. Pat was coming back around lunchtime, 2 p.m.-ish. He said he'd be back. We had just this luxurious morning of talking about drugs, doing a little mechanical sweep, going out for breakfast. Like, it was not, I was having contractions, but they were tolerable. I wasn't even using gas in yet. We were watching The Office. So when Dr. Pat comes back, he's like, yeah, do you want to keep doing this? What do you want to do? And we said.
You said.
Break the waters.
I had some questions about it.
What were those?
Like, I'm just a bit naive. So I'm like, is there any harm? What's like maybe, I guess the word I'm looking for.
Drawback or
risk of doing the waters.
Yeah.
So that's all I had to say. Go ahead.
Well, I liked it because even though I thought, well, with the other babies, the waters didn't break till the very end, I thought this is the mechanical thing that they would normally do.
Yeah.
And why stand around all day? Like, let's break the waters. Yep. And if that doesn't work, I was willing to try the drugs. But let's break the waters and see what happens. So everybody's very, calm, cool, collected, really like nothing's happening.
I was getting ready to like spend a day or two there.
Yeah.
Like mentally.
So 2:45, he breaks my waters. Everything's very civilized. And as soon as he walked out of the room, I started to have contractions that accelerated in intensity quite quickly. I was going back and forth to the loo. When you're in that place, you have to make decisions every minute and a half about like, do I stay near the gas and air and maybe shit myself? Or do I go to the loo and like have a terrible contraction alone on the toilet? And I chose the latter a few times.
Yeah, at least 3 times minimum.
Well, because you can't tell, like when things start to get moving, you're not sure if you just need the loo. And again, like I don't want to go to the loo in front of people. So I'm in this zone where I have to say for myself, I was quiet. I was having active labor now, but I don't think I was screaming. I don't think I was getting too upset. But
yeah, you do this thing now that it's 3rd time where I can tell it's getting a bit more serious because you do this like kind of meditative as you're like kind of breathing through the contractions, with the gas and air, and then you do this kind of like hum. And that hum is something I remembered from the previous ones. I'm like, okay, things are really amping up here. And then I took a moment to myself to turn off the television and kind of get more involved. And by more involved, just sitting closer to you and seeing if there's something I could do. But I knew at that point things were moving, and I had my little emotional moment where I was like, all right, things are going to be absolutely fine because we've got Katherine Ryan behind the wheel, and she's an absolute pleasure and joy to watch through this process because there's nothing I can do, and I know she's going to drive it over the finish line quickly. So buckle up.
There's no athletics in my wheelhouse.
Well, this is a form.
I like that there is an arena of life where I can physically impress you.
Yeah, that is true. Impressive.
Because I think a lot of people would assume that I'm hard. Well, I know a lot of people assume that because if Bobby posts anything about me or we're in a clip together, the men in that comments are like, she looks like hard work. Nah, 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 nah. And I'm like, okay. I don't think I am hard work.
You're not hard work.
Also, who wants to be the kind of woman who's easy work? Like, if there were no women like that, I suppose these guys would die alone. But like, if I'm a man, then I would feel more accomplished by being with a woman who is hard work.
Well,
in their description of it.
Let me just say to any guys out there listening and any girl, say what you want about Katherine, but she is a true MVP of giving birth. Like it's I don't know if it's because of her, determination, or her body allows it, or a combination of everything.
Yes.
She's just like can do it the best.
I lock it up.
Yeah, you're the best.
So I was in active labor. I probably had 15 to 20 contractions total.
Right. But like the contractions, so the waters were broken at 2:45.
Yeah.
And then things started really amping up, and it lasted maybe an hour before this thing.
Less than an hour because she was born at 3:35.
3:35.
So at 3:30, lovely Miriam came in the room, and I'd just had like a really bad contraction. And then, sorry, like TMI, my vag started like bubbling, like bubbles were coming out of it, and I was like too stupid in the moment to know that was not Fenna. We keep calling the baby Fenna.
I know, I do too.
Baby Holland, like crowning. I was stood up next to the bed, and I was like, maybe I can have that diamorphine shot. And she goes, okay, I'll go and ask Pat. And then she left, and she came right back. She goes, Pat said he's not even going to check you. He said you can have the shot. And I said, oh, actually, no, he needs to come right now and check me. And then I took it upon myself to just get on the bed and take my trousers off. And Miriam and Pat came in. Like, luckily, he happened to be right outside.
Thank goodness. If he was gone getting like a coffee, he would have missed it. Because, you sat down and you were on the bed with the doctor and the midwife for maybe 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And I knew I shot myself.
Right away, as soon as you got on the bed. And they tried to like play it off like, oh, you don't know for sure. And you're like, you've got your gas in there, and you're like, I know that I did.
My little mouthpiece.
Get rid of it.
Like the fucking caterpillar on Alice in Wonderland. I'm like, Miriam, I know I've shot myself, but it wasn't me. It was seriously like her head.
Well, no one's blaming you. You just knew that you did, and they were trying to like maybe trick you.
I have a personal like standard of excellence, so that was a low point for me.
But it was all tidied up neatly. Like, it wasn't that messy from my understanding. I didn't have a look, obviously.
No, they keep like a little animal, like puppy pee pad under your bum. So she just kind of squared that away. So then it was time to push. And Pat was so like relaxed. As soon as he came in the room, I knew I was giving birth because he started like getting all those things together. He just took one look.
Well, he took one look, and then he started getting gloves ready, getting everything ready. I'm like, so no shot then? He's like, no. And I asked how much you were dilated, and whatever the maximum was, you were. What was it, 10, 9?
10. Yeah. He goes, you're 10, you're ready to have the baby. He was so calm. And then I was calm. And then I was in this place, like this world of like, ugh. It sort of feels like gas and air without the gas and air. And I just said, oh, guys, I'm in this place. I don't know if they knew what I was talking about, but I just knew it was time to push. Your body sort of just gives you loads of endorphins. And then I remember, I think with Violet, I wasn't sure if I could push or how much I should push. But I knew with Holland, I was like, oh yeah, I have to like do this work now. But I've had so many babies, I'm not afraid of the pushing. I think it holds a lot of women back. If they haven't had a baby yet, they're like, how much should I push? You just push to the fucking end.
Well, no, they were trying to slow you down a bit. I mean, I don't know. This isn't a good advice. You're pushing too much, they said. And they're like, whoa, just take a minute, relax. Like, and you're just like balls to the wall, pedal to the metal, like trying to just slingshot this baby out. And they're trying to slow you down. Like, it's coming. And you're trying to just rush it. Like, so that's not sound advice. You just work through it, yes, but like you don't have to like fire it out.
Yeah, you do. You do. You do. So I just pushed as hard as I could. And then,
nonstop as hard as I could.
And then her head came out, and he was really good at being like, all right, the head's out. That's the worst part.
Take a minute. Yeah. He's like, take a minute now. Just one more left. And you're like, that everyone had to convince you to at least have that one extra second to like finish the job. And you did. Yeah.
Well, you know why? Because I was personally going to do that anyway because I was waiting for the next contraction.
Okay.
You only push against contractions.
Well, I don't know if that was happening, but yeah.
So then I pushed, and she was out, and that was great. And so it took like 2 or 3 pushes to get her out.
Yeah.
And then when did you know she was a girl?
Oh, I know exactly what to look for now to find out if it's a boy or a girl. And so I saw that it was a girl right away, like within 1 second.
Yeah.
Because I had a good view of everything from your shoulder down.
So you couldn't see that I shot myself?
No, I couldn't see that you shot yourself. I saw the head come out, and I looked at you.
Wow.
And then like just the head, but I'm like from an angle that's kind of like just sideways from the head. So I wasn't seeing like into. I didn't want to do that really. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just
Yeah, I'd rather
Yeah,
you
I
stay.
just want to see the head come out, and I did. And then, saw there was a girl right away.
Yeah.
And I told you. You asked her, that was the first thing you said. You're like, what is it? And I said, it's a girl, you son of a bitch. You were right.
I just felt like she was. And
Yeah.
we didn't care.
You did have a good, this is the first one, I think you've had that like good of a feeling about it, I would say.
And I'll tell you why. It's because I was eating a lot of berries and yogurt and like sweet things. It's true with girls. Like I always like sugar and spice and everything nice. And then with Fred, I was eating lotus spaghetti, but I was also on steroids. Who knows what the hell.
This is the first one I got wrong. I thought it was going to be a boy, but I based my guesses on like science and psychology. Like we had one, what do you call the guy that does the ultrasound? We had like some type of guru.
Sonographer.
And he asked me what I wanted with Fred, and I kind of gave him like, I prefer a boy, I think. And then he gave me some type of mind game that I'm like, oh, it's a boy. And I thought that, and I was right. And then with Fenna, I just thought it was a girl because she was like neat and tiny and the whole way through. So I was right there. And this one had a larger head, and based on the science, they say if the head's a certain circumference, then it's more likely to be a boy. So I thought boy just based on that alone, whereas Katherine had more intuition.
Well, but I wasn't sure, and I really didn't care. Like I've been on shows, and
either.
I think, and Bobby and I have a very similar yet different sense of humor, but I think we're on the same page in the fact of we sometimes take an extreme position just because I think an extreme position is the funniest position. And then sometimes people view it as rage bait, or they jump on it like, how could you say this? So I have said that I prefer girls to boys, and I don't worry that Fred's going to grow up and see that and be offended by that. I know a lot of men have been offended by that.
They have.
It's not how I actually feel. I love Fred. I think Fred is possibly our most impressive child thus far, just with certain things that he does. But he was also the most difficult to raise. He was a very complex newborn. And all I cared about was like, please, God, give us a relaxed baby that doesn't have like reflux and colic and is like pissed off every day, projectile vomiting my milk across the room, giving me a complex, sleeps at night. And so far, Holland Juliette. Should we talk about the name?
Yeah, we could talk about the name.
She is that.
That's the name, yeah. Holland Juliette.
And she's relaxed. And we had a boy name too that was really cool. We've had that name for a long time.
Yeah, in my back pocket for like 4 years now, 3-4 years.
Maybe we'll have to get like a goldfish or a parrot.
Yeah.
Use the name. It was a tight name. You never know. Fred.
We'll see.
We feel like Fred's the kind of man who might name his son this name.
He might. But Fred wanted a girl. Like everyone kind of got what they wanted except for me as far as like the gender. But
You didn't
the family
want?
listen. I expected.
Got what you expected, yeah.
Sorry. But we both feel the same way, that our family, I think, gets what they need at the time. And I think Fred being the only boy, he will like that.
And you were the only boy with
I was
sisters.
the only boy, yeah.
And you and Fred have.
I mean, I didn't like that much, but Fred, I think, is a bit different, and we're both the same. But
Well,
for him being the only boy, I think will be good for him. And now he can kind of be the boss of the little girls. I don't know, keep them safe.
And like very sadly, again, I hate to bring it up, but you didn't have your dad, and Fred has you, and you guys are like stepbrothers.
Yeah.
You guys have this closeness that I think is generationally healing, and I think Fred would have actually, I don't know, because you have a great relationship with Fenna, and you know you have a great relationship with the girls no matter what, but there's a special thing that I think Fred would have felt hard done by if he had to share with another brother.
I think so too.
I don't know.
He likes being the only boy, and like if we had another boy, then I don't know, he might be a bit,
I don't know.
Who knows?
We just knew we'd get what we needed. And in terms of girl names, do we have any other names that we liked? I liked a few that you
I was
vetoed.
tapped out. I came up with Grace, Fenna's middle name, and I didn't have anything.
We both love Juliette as
Yes,
a middle name.
that's true.
Juliette
That's
is
easy.
very Grace.
Yeah, and your mom's name is Julie.
Yeah. I like it with E-T-T-E.
Yeah.
I don't like Juliette like Juliet. You know,
Juliette.
the way it looks with Romeo and Juliet with just one
I
T.
think that's what the 2 T's and the E does to it, isn't it?
That makes it look more like Juliet.
That's
to
what I
me.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like the name Blythe. I like the name Wynne, like W-Y-N-N-E, like the hotel. Named after the hotel. Do you know that reference?
No.
It's Lily St. Regis and Annie.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Oh, that's a good reference.
But what's funny is the day of the birth,
Yeah.
we had all these references to Holland. Yeah. So the midwife rocks up. Her name is Miriam. We can't say the name, maybe.
No, we said Miriam yet.
Okay, fine.
And she spells it Mirjam.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And she's from literally Friesland.
Yeah, which is a very small province in Holland, which is where my dad and family are from.
That was wild, actually.
That was wild. So that starts it off like, wow, like my family's from there. And then I got a message from someone that same day saying that she loved Katherine so much and whatever. Just a DM. And that person's last name had Holland in it. Or it was Holland. It was actually Holland. And then you got something else
when
happened?
I was choosing to watch The Office,
Oh, right.
when you went to park the car or whatever, the first thing that came up on like Nat Geo on the television at the beautiful Portland Hospital was Tour of Holland. It was like a documentary about, and I was like, should I put that on? I just thought like that might be funny.
So from there, it had to be that.
And you know what your sisters would say about that?
Oh, yes, yes.
That was your dad.
That was my dad.
Coming in strong from Friesland's heaven place.
Yeah, through the
Giving
ether.
us Holland signs.
Yeah.
But also the designer, Holland Cooper. I get spam emails from them. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Lovely suits.
Great.
But I had gotten an email that morning from Holland Cooper, like Holland
Yeah.
kept coming up.
So maybe it was my dad. Who knows? But it was very strange. Those kind of, what do you even call those things? Just, there's a word for it. I can't come up with it.
People would say coincidences. Other people would say that they are supernatural signals from angels. You know, like you land in the middle somewhere, wherever you feel.
Yeah,
Signs.
somewhere closer to coincidence, but anyway.
But it's a nice like
Signs.
reaffirmation that like we like this name. We weren't really sure. We always wait to meet the baby before settling on a name, but I did have 2 embroidered onesies, one with the boy name, one with the girl name, just to do like a little announcement post. And I would look at the onesies and be like, yeah, there's just no other name that we like. I didn't want to do any names if it was a girl because we have Fenna. So then I couldn't have like Emma or what are some other like popular A names? There were a few nice ones, but
Yeah, I don't know.
we like traditional, unique names, which is like feminine, traditional, unique, which is kind of a tough crossover. But I like that none of our names end in the E sound, like Ellie. I like that name, but I think there are a lot of those names. Evie.
Yeah, you've thought about this a lot more than I have.
I do think about it. I think
know.
Violet is a name that can be strong or soft. I think Fenna Grace on the surface is very soft, but it's serious in a way as well. And it's unique, but we didn't make it up. It's like a classically Frisian name.
Yeah.
Fred, I think, is so strong. I love his name. And Holland, like the actress Holland Taylor, I think it's strong again. But if she doesn't like its uniqueness, she can go with Juliette, or she could be Holland, or she could be anything. Fenna calls her Lala. Old Fenna's dolls are called like Fafa or Lala or Pepe.
Papa. Lala.
Even though she can speak.
Lala's cute. I think Fenn will call her Lala. Fred's calling her Landy.
Landy.
But it's not that I don't think of names. It's just that in all the births, babies, we've had the name kind of locked in for a long time.
Yeah.
So you sometimes, is there anything better? And you would do these little voyages to find something better. But I wouldn't really do that as much because everything was kind of already set.
Yeah. And we come back to our first answer.
That's it. So I'm just going to.
And that's with a lot of intuition, a lot of life. You'll be like, I think this, but instead of going with your gut, if you're like me, you intellectualize and you're like,
think yourself
well,
out of something.
But I usually come back to number 1.
Yeah, it's just something fun to do for you, I think, as well. So
It was fun.
yeah, it was a great time. So then that happened. The baby happened, and then how did it end off? What happened next?
Well,
you start to like unplug your wires and try and like pack up the baby and hit the door. But this time we had to make a decision, didn't we? Whether to stay or go the evening.
I appreciated that the Portland and the people working at the Portland. And can I just say this? When you have private healthcare, which I haven't always had, these people are very skilled and they're very caring and they're very selfless. They also work in the NHS. It's the same doctors. So for Fred, we had a doctor who delivered the royal babies. He also takes NHS patients for free. Our doctor this time, Dr. Pat, takes NHS patients for free if you happen to land on his schedule. They're all the same. you can be like the greatest architect in the world. And if you've got like time to focus on one project, that is going to have a different result to if someone goes, okay, now you have to build like 20 high-rise apartments in the next 6 weeks. Like that's almost impossible to do. So my heart really does go out to medical staff who are working under conditions where they have to just look after too many people. That's when things go wrong. It's like you're getting the same caregivers who have the same expertise, but they're just so spread out. Yeah. So, I mean,
yeah,
the Portland were so wonderful at like giving us the attention that we needed, but also understanding my history. Like they understood that I have this like fear of being trapped in a hospital. And because they were so happy to be like, you know what, we'll do all your discharge paperwork now. We'll get you ready to leave tonight if you just want to go straight home after having the baby. That made me almost want to stay.
Yeah. You're like, I don't, yeah.
Because I didn't feel pressure. I didn't feel like I was going to be trapped and a consultant was going to go home. And then they were going to be like, oh, well, you can't leave now. The pediatrician just came straight in, did her checks. They did all our discharge paperwork. And then we decided, well, instead of moving to another room and settling in for the night, let's like order champagne and order Nobu and do those luxury things that we never did with any other baby.
Yeah.
Have dinner and then just leave. Wait till the traffic's done and then leave. So we just went straight home.
Yep. So born at 3:45, 3:35.
3:35.
And then on the road at 9:30.
45 minutes of active labor. It would be good if you knew ahead of time. Like this is going to suck for maybe 20 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was just
max.
lightning fast. I was so relieved to again witness it because like I don't even have time to get like stressed out because before you know it the baby's there. So you're like, wow, that was really easy for me. I didn't do anything. All I did was, like I said, turn off the television, maybe pass you the gas and air, maybe rub your back a couple times, and then sit back and watch the maestro.
It was easy for me too. It did hurt a few times, but it was fine.
Good.
But yeah, like in the middle of some contractions, you're like, God, why do I do this? But it's fine. Like my takeaway from birth every time is it's not that bad.
Yeah. And then like, do I want to cut the cord? No, I'd let the professionals do that. I don't want to make a mess of anyone's work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't be responsible for something.
You don't want to have scissors.
I don't want to like
near a new baby.
Yeah, no, just.
And Bobby doesn't like blood and guts and stuff, and that's fair enough.
Yeah, I don't want to pass out.
I will say we've had, it has definitely been my best experience. I loved, my highlights were, I loved just driving there, not in labor. I loved the little luxuries, like having breakfast out with you first.
Yeah.
And like the naughtiness of you having an old fashioned, and then like we had the Nobu, and that was so much fun. And when we popped into Sainsbury's just before we went back to have the waters broken, before my actual labor would start. And we got Sour Patch Kids, and we got some Wispa chocolates.
The Wispas came in very handy after, didn't they?
Delicious. Yeah. And then I treated myself while I was at Sainsbury's to 2 paracetamol.
Whoa.
And I think that's what pushed me over the edge of like, we can do this. Paracetamol does a lot. I did a little what's in my hospital bag video before we went to the hospital, obviously. And that received some criticism because people were like, you've overpacked. Meh, 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 meh. But I will say that little toiletries bag came in so useful. I used some like hydrating eye patches. I sprayed my face when I was going in the bathroom to see if I was going to have like a contraction or what was going on.
You were doing skincare in there?
I was, spraying my face with Caudalie.
You didn't have time to waste.
Oh, it's so nice though. Like those little things.
Then you came scrambling back out like in the middle of a contraction trying to get to the gas and air. Like maybe you should have just waited for the skincare. But anyways.
It was a nice touch.
Sure.
And like if I had stayed the night and showered, I would have liked to have those skincare things. So people are so judgmental. Be like, you don't need that. It came in really nice.
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. And my recovery has been good. Been feeling great. Felt really well supported by Bobby. We went to the farm yesterday and the pub with the kids. The kids are adjusting really well.
Yes, they are.
The only thing I will say is if you've had a lot of babies, or even if you've had none, the contractions or the tightenings, rebranded, that your uterus has as it like shrinks back down to its normal size, they're
God willing.
Well, if not surgically, I don't care.
Just kidding.
I'm gonna be so hot next year.
I think the first night or first few nights, your you're going to be exhausted because you can't sleep
Yeah.
with the baby. And so I'm
You just
now
have to,
thankful to sleep with the other two at the minute. So
when you have a newborn, you just have to look at them
Yeah.
to make sure they always breathe. However, and this is not an ad, we do have this device called Owlet, and it's a sock that goes on a newborn's foot. They have 3 different sizes, and it connects to a base that you plug in, and it's an app on your phone, and it constantly tells you the baby's pulse and oxygen saturation.
it's a wonderful invention.
It's great. And like, I'm sure
Just peace of mind alone.
you should still practice safe sleep and all these other things, but it will alert you. Even if the baby kicks it off or it falls out of place, it'll go da 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 da. Check the Owlet. It is the thing that lets me get like an hour of sleep at a time. I'll sleep for an hour with the Owlet on her foot and the phone next to my head, and then I'll wake up and see if she needs milk. And I just know that I trust my phone to like beep at me. So I love that. I love the Owlet. We've had so many lovely gifts. We've had this beautiful muslin gifted, actually. Forever gifted us some muslins, and they are very like high-end, beautifully, ethically made, but they're such a nice gift for someone. I have my own jaundice light, which we haven't had to use with her. She's our first brunette
Yeah. Well, no, she's got highlights.
with like white
She's
highlight.
got blonde hair with like brown highlights. We don't really know what's going on here. I don't know. Like at first I'm like, oh, the baby's got dark hair. But you're like, no, there's some blonde. It's all blonde here. It's just blood. I was like, no.
It's brown
It's
and
brown
blonde.
and blonde. Like,
So we'll see which one falls out. We have Docatots. We are just all set up. Oh my God, and the Artie Pop carrier. Whew, the greatest carrier of all time. But I can't use that until her umbilical cord falls off. I just like to wait.
or till like, do we have to wait till the head can?
No, it's suitable from newborn up. It just, there's a different newborn like setting. Bless you. Anyway, we are so happy. We are so blessed. And that's our little birth story. Anything we forgot to add? I mean, this seems very...
I mean, it went really well. I'm so like I can just bang on about how impressive you are, but I won't.
You could.
I could, but I'll just leave it at what I've said already. It was just amazing to watch, and I felt so relaxed, and it was the easiest birth for me, and I'm so thankful and blessed, obviously. So thank you, Mama.
Thank
for being
you.
the best.
And you know, I like you saying those things about me because
Yeah, but no one wants to hear it. I don't think.
they do. They do, because then they love you more. They're like, oh, he burned down that cat a while ago on
I
TikTok.
didn't burn down the cat. I did burn down the cat, but that was like
It's
a stunt
planned.
that we knew about. Anyways, I do love you, and I hope everyone knows it. And
But it matters
I'm
to me.
blessed. Okay, it matters to you.
Like, my performance in a birth is the only time. Like, you are
You're like
athletic.
showing off now though about it. You're just like so good at it. You're like showboating.
I do showboat, but so do you. But like, this is, you're seeing a window into my
No,
athleticism.
I'm just saying, while you're giving birth, you're just actually showboating during the process as well, just like
Yeah.
flexing.
Yes.
I know, it's incredible.
It matters to me to like stay quiet for some reason,
It's like
not
just-
complain too much.
you need to do some type of like celebration, like the footballers do, like after the birth, come up with some type of dance moves.
This is why I try to get the medical staff to give us opiates. But what do you think
That'll
they,
help with creativity.
do you think their takeaway is, what's up with these two smackheads?
Well, they're gonna be like, these guys were so desperate for opiates, and we had none,
yeah.
and I'm surprised they didn't offer some up afterwards.
Well, do you think that's unusual?
Well, it's illegal.
Yeah. It is weird that they wouldn't just give it to us afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not? Okay. Rules, fine. The law, okay. But otherwise, if you see a couple and they're 42 and they clearly are like not smackheads in their life, and they come in and they deliver a baby, they take 45 measly minutes of your time to deliver a baby, no muss, no fuss, no tearing, a graze, he said I had. I don't even know what that means. No stitches. I didn't cause you any problems. And then you see me deliver a baby naturally in 45 minutes of active labor, including pushing. And then maybe you think, I'm going to throw this couple a
Yeah.
bone and give them each a little shot of pethidine on my way out. Why wouldn't you do that?
Well, I would take the fentanyl.
No. Once I learned about that, I was
if
like,
I could choose. But yeah, you're right. You're like the best patient they could probably ever, imagine. And so why not reward that patient
Yeah.
with a little
heroin.
party package?
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm telling everybody everything. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Bobby, for all of your support and for continuing to put beautiful children inside of me so that I can shoot them out.
Long may it continue.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like 2 years from now we'll try to have another geriatric pregnancy, or you
I
think
don't know.
done is done?
Let's just park everything for now.
It would be nice to be done.
Yeah. But we'll see.
It is tempting.
It is tempting, and you're so good at it. So,
But we've suffered enough. I think we deserve like a life.
let's think about it.
Okay.
All right.
Please look after each other. See you soon. Oh, and this Monday, today, right now, October 20th, is the last episode of The Real Housewives of London. Next Monday is the reunion. We have released, by we, I mean Hey You Social, have expertly released a trailer. Today is fucking wild and also vulnerable. And you just gotta tune in. Bye.